So tonight's game is huge for your season-long bets. You bet
Yes.
Washington to win that division, and you also bet Philly under 10.5 wins. So
That one's
Philly
not
also,
looking great. Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, but Philly last year lost 5 of their last 6. Do you see that
Yep.
happening again, or is it more likely that they expose the Commanders tonight?
Well, listen. I don't think Philly's going to collapse, and I've got to give Philly credit where it's due. They've won 5 consecutive games. Now, 4 of those 5 have been against truly dreadful teams: Browns, Giants, Jags, Cowboys. But one of them was a dominating second-half performance against Cincinnati. And the way they obliterated Dallas, Cooper Rush threw for 40 yards, is impressive. And that defense has turned a corner under Fangio. And so, listen, Jalen Hurts has been good on the big plays. They're letting him run a little more again. He seems healthier. I have to be fair. I picked Philly to miss the playoffs. Right now, that looks super shaky. I said Philly, I thought that Sirianni could have been fired during the year. That's not going to happen. With that said, Philly is about to have 5 of their next 6 brutal spot. Like, you're playing some real teams now. Commanders, Rams, Ravens, Panthers, Steelers, Commanders. So that's 5 games of your next 6 against 7-win teams plus the Rams, who I think are a good team, even though they haven't played quite up to that standard. The Commanders thing, I don't think the Commanders are going to get exposed. Here is my slight concern. Throughout Kliff Kingsbury's entire coaching career at Texas Tech, at Arizona, everywhere, his offenses have gotten off to these excellent starts and then cooled significantly. And a few weeks ago against Chicago, 18 points. The last couple weeks, they've scored 27. Jaden, however, this past week was the worst game I think he's played this season, the game against Pittsburgh. And that 27, they had the Steelers did that ridiculous fake punt, and they had some short fields. So I'm a little concerned, not major, a little concerned that Washington is going to cool off offensively, as Kliff Kingsbury teams historically have done. And I will be, for my bets and for my own, priors, rooting for Washington tonight, DeMonze. But I actually like Philly in this spot. I hope Washington wins, but I can see a scenario, certainly, where Philly beats Washington and covers the 3.5. Washington will be fine either way, because after this, they get Cowboys, Titans, Saints. So, I mean, they have 4 games left against the Cowboys, Titans, and Saints, because they play the Cowboys twice. So, since they already have 7 wins, Washington, to me, is like almost locked into the postseason. But tonight's game is the kind of divisional swing game. If Washington wins tonight, they are, in my opinion, a significant favorite to win the division. If Washington loses tonight, it feels like Philly is probably going to take care of that division, take that division, and that'll be a shame for my preseason gambling, because Washington 11-1 was going to be one of my best preseason divisional picks, and if Philly wins tonight, it's a bad spot for me. Go ahead. Looks like
Commanders are probably the most complete of teams that the Philadelphia Eagles would have faced on this run. No, I mean, they did just face the Cowboys. They dominated them. Yep. But Cooper Rush was
you're absolutely
so I
right.
feel like that one's got like a little bit of an asterisk on it.
Oh, no. You're 100% right. Like, as far as on this run, the Eagles have played the Browns with Deshaun starting, the Giants, the Bengals, who have just a dreadful defense. Not that the Commanders' defense is great, but it's not the Bengals.
They did beat Joe Burrow, but that team's not complete. Yeah.
Right, exactly. The Jags, who's got one of the worst defenses in the league in the game. I think that was the game Trevor got hurt in. And then the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. And so, yes, there's no question that this is the best team Philly has played by a lot since week 1 in Brazil against Green Bay. Like the Eagles this year have played, I think, 4 good to very good teams. The Bengals, I think, are good even though their record isn't. And it was 17-17. Philly scored 20 straight. Give them credit. The Bucs, when the Bucs were fully healthy and the Bucs trashed them. The Falcons, which came down, if you remember, that was the game Saquon dropped the ball. And the Falcons, when they, on the little swing pass. And the Packers in week 1 in Brazil. But so I'm not putting any asterisks on it because you got to take care of business. And Philly looked really shaky that first month. They beat the Packers. Then they blew the Falcons game. The Saints had them dead to rights in week 3. And then Goddard got loose on like a 70-yard little tight end leak play up the sideline. There's no Saints defender within a mile, and that won them that game. And then they got blown out by Tampa. And then the Browns game, that was the game that they escaped, and Sirianni was yelling at his own fans against the terrible Browns. But since then, beat the Giants by 25, beat the Bengals by 20, beat the Jaguars by 5, but they were up 12 with 5 minutes left. Jags got a late backdoor touchdown, and beat the Cowboys by 28. So if you're going to play bad teams, crush them. That's what they've been doing, and I give them credit for that. I'm very interested to see. The other thing to watch tonight is Jaden going to run? And I understand this is me, maybe confirmation bias, because I was so worried about Jaden's health. But since Jaden got those ribs cracked, he hasn't been the same runner. And last week he ran the ball 3 times for 5 yards. So I'm really interested in watching that. Also, the Eagles' 2 rookie secondary players, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, have been excellent. They've both been, the last few weeks in particular, have been excellent. So shout out to them. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.